Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are embarking on a massive deep dive into the spiritual mechanics of rage, brotherhood, and the very architecture of the cosmos itself. We're decoding the ancient, hidden wisdom of the Zohar. So we're not just looking at a simple story today. We are literally looking under the hood at the raw, volatile framework of the universe. Let's dive right in.
All right, I want you to picture this like a cinematic 4K heritage scene playing right out in your mind. Imagine the dry, cracked earth of the ancient Near East. Simeon and Levi are standing over this dark pit. They're whispering to each other. The air is thick, their blades of judgment are drawn, and destiny is just tightening around them like a noose. The brotherhood has gone completely dark. The Zohar specifically points to the phrase, "And they said a man to his brother." Notice how the text explicitly identifies this phrase with Simeon and Levi. They aren't just two angry siblings having a fight. No, they are the physical embodiments of a specific cosmic frequency. They are bonded through an intense spiritual severity, a red rage that's literally about to alter the course of history.
To truly understand what's happening here, we have to strip away the literal, surface-level biblical story. We need to look at the sod, the hidden, secret, cosmic code that's operating just beneath their actions. You see, Simeon and Levi viewed themselves as the ultimate protectors of the 12 tribes. They looked at Joseph and his dreams not as an annoying little brother, but as a catastrophic threat to the spiritual integrity of their entire family. So the massive question we have to ask ourselves is this: what actually happens when the universe's ultimate protectors completely misread the threat? You know, when the very system designed to defend you suddenly turns its weapons inward.
Well, this brilliantly illustrates the concept of Din. The Zohar tells us that Simeon and Levi come misitra de din akashia, from the side of harsh judgment. Now, we have to be clear here. This isn't just mere human anger or somebody having a bad temper. Din is the raw, unfiltered spiritual force of boundary, of severity, and intense cosmic restriction. It is the gravitational pull of pure consequence. Simeon and Levi's actions at the pit, and even earlier in the city of Shechem, are driven by this overwhelming, concentrated severity. They're essentially the spiritual enforcers of the system, acting on pure, unmitigated restriction.
Let's modernize this for a second so we can really grasp the mechanics at play. Think about it through a tech analogy. In ancient terms, sure, they are instruments of harsh judgment, but in modern terms, they are basically overloaded Gevurah firewalls. Think about it. A firewall's entire job is to protect the network from malicious attacks, right? It blocks unauthorized traffic. That is Gevurah. Its strength, its boundaries. But what happens when a firewall malfunctions and just gets completely overloaded? It starts misreading safe, vital internal signals as catastrophic threats. Simeon and Levi were these cosmic firewalls that completely misread Joseph's dreams. They treated a necessary system update like a lethal virus, and in doing so, they turned their vital protective nature into a highly destructive force.
And this exact firewall malfunction leads us directly into the concept of polarity. The Zohar teaches this profound secret about the nature of anger and judgment. It says there is a type of anger that is blessed, Baruch, and an anger that is cursed, Arur. Blessed anger, or what we call sweetened power, is balanced boundary. It's that protective instinct that heals, defends the innocent, and actually maintains order in the world. Think of Abraham's might, for example, which the Zohar calls Baruch. But when Din is unsweetened by mercy, when it operates in total, absolute isolation, it becomes an Arur, a curse. It devolves into a destructive rage that consumes everything in its path, including the protector itself.
Which brings us perfectly to this intense quote from their father, Jacob. He says, Apam ki az, cursed be their anger, for it was fierce. Now, Jacob isn't just giving them a stern reprimand here. He is giving a spiritual diagnostic. He is explicitly pointing out that their protective instinct had weaponized into a red rage simply because it completely lacked the sweetening of chesed, of loving kindness. It remained unsweetened din. They let the firewall go rogue. They locked down the system so tightly that it almost destroyed the very family it was meant to protect in the first place.
So the absolutely crucial point here is the math of the cosmos. 2 brothers out of 12 tribes. Why does that specific ratio matter? Because the concentrated, unsweetened energy of just these 2 individuals sent massive structural shockwaves through the entire cosmic system of the Israelites. The 12 tribes represent the complete structural integrity of the spiritual universe. When 2 foundational pillars start vibrating with the destructive resonance of pure, unmitigated judgment, the entire structure is literally at risk of collapsing. The 2 were totally jeopardizing the 12.
Okay, let's break this down into a multi-generational format so it clicks for absolutely everyone. Whether you're a kid playing video games or an adult studying cosmic engineering, the Sephirotic mechanics are totally identical. In a video game, Gevurah is basically your overpowered shield class. Sure, it blocks damage, but if it glitches, it can crush you. In cosmic engineering, it's the structural boundaries holding reality together. Simeon and Levi combining forces? Well, in gaming, that's a devastating co-op attack. In mystical engineering, it's a terrifying alignment of resonant frequencies. What they desperately needed in that moment was Tiferet and Chesed, the healing and balance mechanics that actually restore system equilibrium.
Let's exhaustively map out this flow, dimension by dimension, so we see exactly how the breakdown happened. It starts up in Gevurah, the ultimate source of harsh judgment. Simeon represents the pure, concentrated severity of this deen. And Levi brings Had, the reverberating resonance that amplifies that severity. But look at what is glaringly missing here. Tiferet, the central pillar of balance, and Chesed, the loving kindness required to sweeten the judgment. When you bypass that crucial sweetening phase, the raw, unsweetened Gevurah crashes directly down into Malhud. And Malhud, that is the physical realm. That means spiritual severity translates instantly into real-world physical consequence and destruction. That's the pit. That is the sale of Joseph.
You know, the Zohar frequently uses color to describe these energy states, which is super helpful. Step 1 is red judgment. Red is the color of raw din, the fiery heat of Gevurah. But if that red is left to burn totally out of control, it chars. It turns into step 2, black. Black is the color of the curse, the unsweetened, stagnant rage that Jacob called out. To fix the universe, they have to reach step 3, white mercy. The red must be bathed in the white light of Chesed to become sweetened power. This mystical process is literally technically called sweetening the din.
And this brilliantly illustrates Joseph's ultimate cosmic countermove years later down in Egypt. The verse says, "And he took Simeon from them." Now, on a literal, historical level, Joseph took a hostage. But on a sod, or secret level, he was performing straight-up cosmic surgery. The Zohar reveals that Joseph separated Simeon from Levi specifically so they could not unite and accuse together. Joseph recognized their combined resonant frequencies of harsh judgment. By separating those two firewalls, he stopped the destructive feedback loop. He broke the circuit of Arur, finally allowing the brothers to step out of their red rage and actually begin the process of repair.
So how does this ancient cosmic code actually apply to our lives today? Because the Torah isn't just a history book, it's a living blueprint of your own soul. We all have inner Simeon and Levi energy. Every single one of us has overloaded firewalls of judgment. The question we all have to ask ourselves is, how are you reading the threat signals in your own life? Are you taking vital protection and accidentally turning it into a destructive force? We have to learn how to recalibrate our own dimensions. We must take our inner red rage, inject it with that white light of chesed, and transform it back into protective, sweetened power. We have to do the work to sweeten our own din.
So, as you navigate your world this week, really ask yourself, are your inner firewalls protecting you, or are they burning the whole system down? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.